everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how we use the 70-20-10 budgeting method. So if you guys are interested to see how we use this for our July's monthly budget, then keep on watching. So the first thing that I want to mention that is key to our budgeting is our monthly calendar. This is where we write in any events that we have going on, any appointments, our paydays, bills, all of that goes on our calendar. And I have my calendar on my phone. That's really the place where I check it daily, but I do like having it on this monthly calendar in my budget planner. So that's one thing that I do recommend doing when it comes to your budgeting. But now let's get into our July monthly budget. So how is it that we use the 70-20-10 budgeting method? Let me go ahead and share with you guys step by step how we do this. All right, so before I plug in any of my numbers, I want to explain what the 70-20-10 budgeting method is. So the 70%, that is for all of your expenses. That includes your needs and your wants. You pick and choose how you want to apply that total dollar amount. It's up to you, but the key is it's anything that you are spending. That is your daily cash envelopes if you are a cash envelope budgeter like myself, and that is all of your automatic bills, things that come out of your bank account for your housing. So what is included in that 70%? So I mentioned your cash envelopes, your utilities, housing, transportation, food, anything that you are spending out. That is your 70%. And you base that off of what is your take-home pay. This is the income that physically enters into your bank account. How much money do you receive in a month? You're gonna take that dollar amount, you're gonna multiply it by 0.7, and that's gonna give you your 70% for your expenses. Now let's move on to the 20%. You're gonna do the same thing. Take that dollar amount of your income and you're gonna multiply it by 0.2. Now this category, the 20%, this is for your goals, okay? I just base it off of that. It's for your goals, savings goals, your debt payoff, your whatever, right? So what we do with our 20%, we take a percentage of that for our savings goals, right? So that's your sinking funds. In my case, we are saving for different holidays, Christmas, major events, so vacation planning, birthdays, anything like that, you can factor in as part of that 20%. And then besides that, we are also saving for a big goal. Our personal goal is to save for our next home. We want to put either a good down payment on a house as the minimum goal, but the big goal would be if we would be able to save cash for that. So we are kind of in a boat where we don't know exactly what we want to do. We just know that we want to save for our next home. Now you can use this total dollar amount in your case for your debt payoff. Now before doing that, I highly recommend at least having $1,000 in a starter emergency fund, or you can apply everything towards debt. Now the last 10%, this is something that is personal. So you see here, we have a giving section on my monthly budget, right? Now this giving section, there is a section here that's called tithe. So tithe, we believe in giving back to God what belongs to Him. So that's through the church. And the church is able to bless so many more people in our community and make a big impact by giving. Now, please don't say anything negative about this because it is a good thing to do. Being generous in what you receive can really make a big impact. Even if you don't attend a church, I think it's great to support a company that you believe in, an organization that is doing good in this world. So maybe see if you can donate something to a charity or an organization if you, at this time of watching this, if you don't attend a church and you don't have a local church. But we believe in giving of our tithes. So that last 10 is 10%. So you take your total dollar amount that you made and you multiply that by 0.1, that gives you a total dollar amount. So now that you got the basics of what this 70-20-10 method is, let me go ahead and fill in my budgeting numbers, and then I will be back with you to explain what our 70% is, what is our 20%, and our 10%. All right, so I plugged in my actual expenses along with a miscellaneous section, and let's see where we are at as far as our percentages goal. So we have our income amount right up here, which is $5,700, and we're gonna multiply that by 0.7 to see how our expenses goal would be. So that is $39.90, 5,700 times 0.2, that equals $1,140, and then 10% of that is $570. So let's go ahead and add up all of our expenses, and hopefully we are close enough to that 70% for the expense portion. All right, the total of this comes to $32,1375. And I want to explain something before I continue. Some of you may be wondering, why is my income so much more than what it was last month? So if you've seen my last month's budget for June, you will see that I have a much less income amount. And the reason is because of the month of July, I receive 3 paychecks. So I have to include that for my July income. I include the income I receive for that particular month. Now, obviously, that last pay that I receive, that third pay, that income is applied to the following month's expenses, but I record the income for the month that it was received. So I hope that makes sense. So this gives me a total income expenses of $32,1375. So we are well below that 70%. So I feel good about that. Now let's see how much money we have left over. We take the income, subtract the giving, and then subtract this expense section. So this gives us a remaining amount of $1,896.25. And now we move on to the sinking funds and savings portion of the budget. Now, in our case, we don't have any debt, so we don't apply anything to debt. But if you have, let me zoom this out a little bit. If you have debt, you can use this formula so that you can know to apply, the 20% to debt along with sinking funds. You can do both. But in this case, we are doing sinking funds and then our savings goal, which is saving for a house, and also beefing up our emergency fund just a little bit more. So for anniversary, we are going to put in $20. Car maintenance is getting $100. Christmas is getting $60. And let me fill in the rest. All right, and let's see what this all comes out to be. Total sinking funds is $510. So total left over is $1,386.25. Since our big goal is to save for a house, but we also want to save for an emergency, we're gonna take the $386.25 for emergency, and then $1,000 is gonna be applied for our home savings. And that leaves us with a total leftover of $0. And the reason is because you should always give every single one of your dollars a job. So that is everything for today's video. If you found it helpful using this 70-20-10 method, then definitely let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any questions at all, then let me know your questions in the comments down below. I'd love to answer that. But that is everything. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in a brand new video. Bye guys.